Katerina, and I'm here today to talk about my doctor's appointment. I finally was able to get into a nutritionist, not actually through my regular healthcare system, but I am a disabled veteran, so I was able to get in with the VA, though I did have to wait for a while. And you wouldn't believe what my nutritionist told me, so stay tuned for that. Hey everyone, it's Katerina. I just wanted to pop in and do a real quick just disclaimer type thing at the beginning of this video, because as you go through and listen to this, I am talking about predominantly the nutritionist. However, the video is also about the fact that my doctor and my nutritionist both said that I should stop the carnivore diet. I went to my doctor first, and I did explain that in a previous video, but I don't think that I explained it really well in this video. I went to my doctor first, and I talked about all of the health concerns and everything that were happening, and she wanted to put me on Ozempic, or just, kept telling me that I was insulin resistant and I was all of these things, and that if I didn't want to do the Ozempic, that there wasn't really anything that they could do, and that I needed to seek maybe an outside somebody like a nutritionist or something like that. So I asked if I could be referred to a nutritionist, and that is what most of this video is talking about. My doctor absolutely positively does not want me to do the carnivore diet. They have been very specific in the fact that it's going to cause my fatty liver to get worse, that it is going to exacerbate my already damaged kidneys. I had COVID as well as took Paxlovid, and both of them are incredibly hard on my kidneys, and I had some kidney damage after that, and they were adamant that I should not do this type of diet because it was going to make everything worse. So again, as I go through this video and talk about things, this is predominantly talking about what the nutritionist was advising me. My doctor didn't advise me of any particular thing other than get off the carnivore diet, don't do the keto diet. Neither of these were going to be sustainable. Both of them were dangerous in the long run. And so I just wanted to just kind of say that here at the beginning of the video, because as you go through this video, you're going to hear me talking a lot about what my nutritionist had told me, their advice, and why things should be the way that they recommend. So I just wanted to just do this real quick intro after the intro, just to kind of clear anything up, and then you can go ahead and watch this and it'll make a little bit more sense to you now. So thank you again. Sorry about this brief interruption. All right, well, like I was saying, I did finally get in to see a nutritionist, and I actually am quite shocked by the outcome of this appointment. Now, I will point out that I went in there armed with my handy dandy notebook, which I log everything. Now, I also log on my Fitness Pal and sometimes even in Carb Manager, because sometimes they're different. But I don't know if this camera will even focus on here, but I keep very, very detailed records of everything I eat, weighted and everything. And I also went in there armed with my measurements, my weight loss to date, etc. And I firmly believed that while she may not necessarily agree 100% with the carnivore diet, that she would see the benefit, at least doing it for the short term, even just that. But no, that is not what happened. My nutritionist told me to get off the carnivore diet and to do it with a quickness. She said that the carnivore diet not only was damaging to the liver and the kidneys, but it also was not going to be sustainable in the long term. While I may be initially losing weight at the moment, this wasn't going to be something that lasted, and even if I continued to lose weight, it would be at the detriment to my body. I did try to talk to her, like I said, about all the positive changes that I've been having, and for whatever reason, they just were not interested in hearing it. I did have two ladies in them, and they were the nicest ladies. They were so sweet. Their definitely hearts are in the right place. I understand that they are just taught a certain way. The standard American diet is what they are pushing. But this is where it gets really interesting to me. Now, I'm going to go over, I took notes. I'm going to go over a few of the things that they recommended that I do, and then I do have a follow-up appointment in 6 months. I'm supposed to maintain these habits for 6 months. First and foremost is 40 to 50% of my calorie intake or amount of food that I eat in a day should be carbs. Carbs, the things that were killing me. They did tell me that my maintenance calories should be at around 2,000, but currently, since I am trying to lose weight, somewhere in the round of 1,500 or higher, just a little higher, is what I should be aiming for. She said that approximately 150 grams of carbs a day. So that would equate to about 75 carbs a meal, because I absolutely drew the line at eating 3 times a day. I can barely make myself eat 2. She told me that if I want to follow the 2 to 3 or 2 meals a day, that I needed to maintain about 3 to 4 ounces of fish, a lean meat like pork loin, sirloin, lean chicken like chicken breasts, salmon, and lean lamb. Ah, that's a tongue twister. Lean lamb. And that I needed to do this my plate thing. And what the my plate entailed was a quarter of my plate would be grains, rice, quinoa, something like that. A quarter of my plate should be 3 to 4 ounces of a lean protein, and a half of my plate should be vegetables. She also told me that I needed to take the milk that I had just recently started adding to my coffee and lower that down to no more than a tablespoon in a day. No avocado unless I desperately needed it, and then no more than a quarter of avocado, and not every day. She really was unhappy with the types of oil that I told them. I said I used olive oil, coconut oil, and avocado oil. She said no, but she also said if you use the spray, that would be okay, as long as it was just a quick spray, and no more than 2 tablespoons completely at all in a day. And then also, horror of all horrors, she told me to trim the fat off all of my meat. It's like my favorite part of the meat, and I'm a new meat eater, and I like that part. She told me that my beloved ribeye, because I love ribeye, is no good for me, and that I should do sirloin instead. And we just went over a few other things like habits and things like that. But what I wanted to talk about was that when I was a vegetarian and then a vegan, I was a whole food plant-based vegan. I already was doing their plan. I was doing what I called, or what is commonly known as, a 50-50 plate. So I was doing 50% of my plate as a non-starchy vegetable, and then 50% of my plate as some type of starch, like a potato or rice or something like that. Admittedly, it was brown rice when I ate it, but still, that was what I was already doing. Or I would do a quarter of the grain and then a quarter of a bean or a legume or something like that that had a high protein content in it. So I was already doing their quarter protein, quarter grain, half vegetable, and I was putting weight on like it was nobody's business. My blood pressure is high. My triglycerides and cholesterol are so high. At one point, they were so high that they couldn't even measure my regular cholesterol numbers, because my triglycerides were through the roof. They were over 800. That is not a joke. I also have a fatty liver. Go figure. I don't know how. I will point out to you that I ate very little to no oil at all on a whole food plant-based diet. It was oil-free, sugar-free for the most part. Unfortunately, I am a sugar addict. So I didn't follow that part as well as I should have. But I was already following their ideas, their plan for me. And I continued to get sicker. I continued to put weight on in just ridiculous amounts. It seemed like it was an every month gain. And I was no good. I wasn't sleeping. I had horrible IBS issues. My bladder pain that I have was always bothering me, most likely from all the oxalates in the vegetables. I had a lot of inflammation in my body. My autoimmune diseases were just on the rise. And I just was an all around miserable, depressed person who did not want to get up most days. Not the kind of person to say that I wanted to necessarily kill myself, but if I didn't wake up one day, that may have been crossing my mind at certain times in the evenings when I had to ruin all the plans in the house because they wanted to go to a water park or do something like that. And my back would be so bad that I couldn't even walk anywhere. So I didn't know what to say. It wasn't that I wasn't appreciative of them taking the time to see me and to offer their advice. And this is what they're taught, but this isn't something that I can do. I, unfortunately, against the advice of my nutritionists, both of them, I am going to continue on with the carnivore diet. And I actually weighed myself this morning and I have made it down to 215 pounds. So I've already posted my week in review. We're 3 weeks on carnivore, and then my next one's about to come out where I'm actually down to 215. So I don't know why I would change doing something that is making me sleep better and longer, is making me feel like I have more energy, is helping me lose the weight, and I feel like I can concentrate. I've wanted to do just so many things and I start them and I know I have ADD, but it's not even that. I just have never been able to focus clearly because of brain fog. So unfortunately, like I said, my nutritionist said to stop the carnivore diet. I'm going to have to go against my doctor's orders. And I'm going to continue this journey. I'm going to continue vlogging it. And I certainly hope that you will come along for the ride. Subscribe. That would be amazing for me. Even more so would be your comments and suggestions. And 1,000% your cheering on. I could use it. I have bad days, but I desperately believe that this is the right path for me. And I hope you'll come along and that you'll have the same path or the same success as well. So until next time, you take care.